looking back on the tee, you know, didn't hit a very good shot. Had to punch out to here. Let's just talk a little bit about, you know, how you visualize certain shots, mentally, what you're thinking about, what type of, you know, vocabulary. How are you talking to yourself? You know, explain how you feel that, you know, you're going to manage this shot. So just walk me through how you think about it, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
Okay. Like you said, I hit a bad shot off the tee. Had to hit a long iron up to this point. Right now, I'm kind of trying to minimize my mistake and kind of see if I can get up and down for par. So I try to get as close as possible. We have a lot of green to work with. Have about 30 yards to the green, 30 yards to the pin of green to work with. I'd say this is a ridge up there. Probably air it just past the ridge. Keep a kind of a low ball flight, probably below the trees, and kind of have it spin a little bit, kind of check. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all really good. Definitely from an imagery standpoint and from visualizing it, I definitely like to think the ball flight, you know, just getting somewhere between the top of the flagstick and before the leaves start on the tree, somewhere in that kind of window right there. That would be what I'd want you to visualize. There's a window up there, and that's the height I want you to hit the ball through the window. As you said, you're going to carry this maybe 45, 50 yards and let it release back to the hole. We have 47 yards to the middle of the green from where we're at, and we have about 63, 62 yards to the flag. So the green slopes naturally from left to right, so we definitely want to make sure that, and with the pin being tucked all the way to the right, definitely want to make sure that we err left of the pin, because in this type of situation, from a management standpoint, we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to, at worst, you know, make 5, don't do anything stupid, and make sure that you have, if you hit a really good shot, you'll be inside 5 feet and make par. And if you hit a subpar shot for you, you still have maybe no more than 10, 15 feet and an opportunity to save par here. All this is distance management, and you manage your distance through trajectory, right? So what I like to see you do now is set up to it. Like we said, you know, weight a little bit forward, ball back, hands forward. Okay, not too bad. Definitely would like to see that ball come down a little bit more. The higher the ball flight, you know, the more it's not going to go as far and roll out. I mean, the whole idea of this shot was to have it roll out. So with that being said, just looking at your natural ball flight and natural tendencies, you know, you're probably going to want to take something closer to your 60 degree here and fly it maybe a little bit closer. That seems like it's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more natural of a shot. So if you're going to hit this 60 degree right here, tell me what you're thinking about as far as visualizing and mentally. How are you talking to yourself when you hit this shot?
Okay. Well, this is definitely going to throw it up in the air a little bit more. Kind of air it to the top of the tree line. Kind of have a little closer landing spot to the pin. Probably going to not roll out as much, obviously, so I'm going to kind of aim for more of like the 60-yard range. Have it roll out maybe 3-4 yards, and then kind of go from there.
Definitely. And when you're talking to yourself, you know, I definitely want to hear, you know, very positive. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to try to do this. I think that's one thing, is that the more that you tell yourself definitively that you're going to do something, the better the chances of executing the shot the way that you intend to do it. So again, you know, from an imagery standpoint and from visualizing, you know, I want you to get up, and I want you to look behind from the target here, pick out a spot in front from a point of reference to aim, and then I want you to pick out probably the middle of that tree. I think the top of the tree line's a little high. I'd say the middle of the tree, and that's going to give you a nice trajectory back there where you're still going to be able to. One thing I noticed is that you tend to get a little open with your stance, so I just want to see you be a little bit more square. Ball's going to be naturally a little bit more in the middle of your stance. So why don't we go ahead and give that a shot here.
Okay.
right, not bad. You're still up there.
Yeah.
It was a good trajectory, which is what we were really trying to focus in on.
Yeah.
Not so much worried about the distance, that'll come later, but just making sure that you're using different things around the course to give you a map of success. You know, you talk to a lot of good players, you know, they're thinking about hitting stuff through windows, and that's what I want you to really, you know, visualize when you do that. And then on top of the things, and I think you already mentioned it, is that if you hit a poor shot and you have to punch out, you know, your job is to minimize the damage at that point. You know, you can always get a shot back on the next hole, but just make sure that you, at worst, walk away out of here with no worse than a bogey. So,
I agree.
all right.